This is Palak Valeria from LG Institute of Engineering and Technology in Department of Instrumentation and Control. Today we will learn the subject that is Control System Design. This is the subject is purely based on the subject that already you learned, that is the control system. So while we are studying this subject, we will use the concept of the control system. For example, here we have four different chapters. In chapter 1, we will use the technique that is the root locus and body fluid. And when we learn the chapter number 2, that is in that we will use the technique that is state space variable. Chapter 3 that is based on the optimal control system, and chapter 4 that is based on the robust control system. Okay, in optimal control, like you have to find out which solution is the optimal solution among the many solutions. And then finally we will discuss about the robust control system. So today we will start with our unit number 1, that is the design of feedback control system. So if you remember, then in a control system subject, we discuss about how to derive the transfer function, and then we discuss about how to find out the stability of any system. Then we also discuss about the transient response. That means what? It's a time domain specifications. For example, delay time, peak time, maximum overshoot, would like that. Okay. So here, with help of all that concept, we will going to design a one feedback control system. So here what we will do, here some predefined specification will given to us, and we want to design a system based on that specification. It may happen that specification are in a time domain, or it may happen that specification are in a frequency domain. So we will use the two different methods. That is, if it is a time domain, then we will use the root locus. And if it is a frequency domain, then we will use the Bode fluid. But here we are not going to use the technique that is a lattice fluid and polar fluid. Alright? So today we will discuss the two topics. First topic is what? It's a configuration of the compensator. And the second one is what? Is approaches to system design. That means, for example, what system is there? For that particular system, we have some predefined, or that is peak time, delay time, maximum overshoot. But now I have some different requirement. I require the different peak time, delay time, maximum overshoot. So what we will do? We are going to add a one compensator, that is in a series, parallel, whatever, that is with the existing system. So that we will discuss in the configuration of the compensator, and then approaches to system design. That means which approach you will use, time domain or frequency domain. So let's start our today's session. See, definitely first of all we will discuss what is compensator, right? Then a compensator is an additional device or network that is added in a feedback control system to compensate the deficiency in the performance of the system, right? As I say, it is what? It is a one external device that you need to add to achieve your specification, whether it is a time domain or whether it is a frequency domain. Okay, as I said, suppose if your system is having some predefined peak time, delay time, and maximum overshoot, but your requirement is something different. So what I will do to compensate that requirement, I will going to add a one external device with my existing system. So that technique is known as or that external device is known as a what? It's a compensator. Now next definition, that is what? It's a compensation. So as I say, when we are going to add one external device, that device is known as a what? Compensator. So the technique that we are going to add the compensator in the network, that is known as a compensation. So the adjustment of the feedback control system to meet a suitable given performance of the system is called as a compensation. Okay, so compensator and compensation is clear. Now next we will discuss that is what configuration of compensator, or we can say the types of compensation. This question can be asked in 3 to 4 marks in GT. So here you have to explain that is the cascade compensator, then second one is a feedback compensator, then output, or sometimes it is known as a load compensator, and then fourth one, that is what, it's a input compensator. So one by one we will discuss in detail what is cascade, what is feedback, output or load or input compensator. So let's start with the cascade compensator. See, in a cascade compensator, that means we have one existing system, and that compensator we will use, as the name suggests, in a cascade, or we can say in a series. For example, this is my existing system. Here R of S is my input, then one summing point, and here this is a system. The system transfer function is what? It's a G of S, and this is my output C of S. And then here I have a one sensor, and whose transfer function is what? It's a H of S, and that is given to the summing point. Now, as I say, it is what? It's a cascade compensator. So what I'll do? I have to use one external device, and that I need to connect in a series with this system, like this. See, here this compensator that is connected in a series with the system. So this is known as a cascade compensator. Next we will discuss that is what? It's a feedback compensator. So the feedback compensator, that means here also we are going to use the same system. That means system transfer function is GS, sensor transfer function is what? H of S. Here you can use any sensor, or as name suggests, it's a feedback, or in other way it is also known as a parallel compensator. So we need to add a compensator that is in series with the sensor. Then that is known as a feedback compensator, because we are going to add a compensator in the feedback part. Okay, so whatever the element, right now it's a sensor, so we have to add the compensator in a series with the sensor. Alright, like this. So this kind of the arrangement is known as a feedback compensator. Now next, that is what? It's an output, or we can say it's a load compensator. So our diagram is same. Here I have a system, then I have a sensor, and then here it's an input and output. So name suggests where I have to add that compensator. Then obvious answer is what? At the output side. Okay, or we can consider that as a load. So after our system, we need to add our compensator. So this is known as a output, or we can say it's a load compensator. Now next is what? Is an input compensator. So again, this is my system. Now in this case, I'm going to add a compensator that is in the series with my input, like this. So this is known as a input compensator. Alright. So we just discussed about the different type of the compensator or types of the compensation. Okay. So next we will discuss our topic number 2, that is what is the approaches to the system design. So which approach we have to take to design our feedback control system? So as we discussed, we have a two type of the thing. First is what? It's a time domain specification, right? For example, if I want to achieve the time domain specification are what? It's a maximum overshoot, then delay time, or we can say it's a peak time, or cycling time, or sometimes it is known as a steady state error. Then which technique we should use? then definitely we will use the root locus. So what will happen? One example is given to you. In that example, it will mention here the system transfer function g of s equal to something. And now to achieve the peak time that equal to 0.5 second or sometimes settling time that equal to 1 second, design suitable compensator. So based on the question, you can easily identify that, okay, this question is from time domain specification. That's why I need to use the root locus. Alright. Now the second method is for to achieve the frequency domain specifications. And the frequency domain specifications are what? That is the bandwidth, gain margin, phase margin. And to achieve this specification, we can use the method. That is what? Polar float, Bode float, or we can say we can use the what? It's a Nyquist float. Alright. So in this kind of the question, see the question is given to you, again the one system is given to you, and that there is one statement will return, that is to achieve, to require the phase margin is what? 60 degree, 70 degree, desired a suitable compensator. So while you read the term, that is phase margin, immediately you can identify that, okay, this is the question from the frequency domain specification. So I should use the method, that is what? Bode float. We will not use these two techniques, that is Nyquist and polar. Because phase margin we can easily find out from the Bode float, not the polar and Nyquist. That's why we are using what? It's a Bode float. Then, next we will discuss, that is the realization of cascade control system. And for that, the transfer function is what? It's a GC of S that equal to K. And then it's a I equal to 1 to M S plus GCI upon phi, that is J equal to 1 to M S plus PCG. Right. And this is what is a compensator transfer function. So numerator, that is what is a 0, and denominator what? That is equal to 4. Now if I say I want to design the first order transfer function, then the value of m and n, that will become what? It's a 1. See here. So k is as it is, and I and j that equal to 1, that means I'll get 1 0 as numerator and 1 4 in the denominator. So my transfer function is look like this. And we will design only the first order compensator. So what we will do, we are going to add a 1 pole and 0 in the existing system. And generally we will use what is a cascade compensator. So we are just going to multiply this function with our existing system transfer function. Now next, that is, this is for, it's my compensator transfer function. Now based on that, I can define a two type. That is, if the magnitude of the ZC is less than the magnitude of PC, that is known as a lead compensator. Now, if the magnitude of the ZC is greater than the magnitude of the PC, then that is known as a phase lagged compensator. So, we will choose the 0 and pole according to our requirement. Okay, if it is a lead compensator, then definitely magnitude of the ZC that should be less than the PC. And if it is a lag compensator, then the magnitude of the ZC that should be greater than the magnitude of the PC. So in today's session, we just discuss about the types of the configuration, and then mainly that is approaches to the system design. So I hope this session is clear. Thank you.